How much money do you need to make you happy? Okay, just hearing that question read out loud probably makes your palms sweat a little bit, right? I mean, if you're sitting in an interview chair, it's one of those deeply sweat-inducing prompts that can just completely derail your train of thought. It feels like a total trap. But hey, take a deep breath because today we're going to conquer that anxiety.
Welcome to today's Explainer. I am incredibly excited about this one because we're going to take a rapid-fire, honestly overwhelming list of 27 highly intimidating interview questions straight from our source material. And, well, we're going to tame them. Together, we'll transform them into a predictable, highly structured conversation. Basically, we're taking the guesswork out of the interview room completely.
Okay, let's dive into this. To ease the cognitive overload, let's organize all this data into clear bucket categories. First up, decoding the interview. Second, industry and company knowledge. Third, role fit and motivation. Fourth, logistics, travel, and salary. And finally, your winning strategy.
Starting right off with Section 1, decoding the interview.
To truly master these questions, we literally have to track the psychological thought process of a hiring manager as they sit across the table from you. Just look at the extreme contrast here. On the left side, we have this massive, expansive, big picture question, right? Predicting the entire industry's future 5 years from now. But then, on the right side, we zoom all the way down into the granular daily grind reality of the specific role. What parts of the job will be the least satisfying? Think of it like a giant funnel. Recognizing when an interviewer is pulling from the top of this macro to micro funnel versus the bottom, that is your absolute ultimate advantage.
Which brings us to Section 2, industry and company knowledge.
So, starting at the very top of that funnel, interviewers are going to probe your understanding of the broader economic landscape with these heavy, macro-level questions. What do you predict will happen to this industry in the next 5 years? What do you see are the greatest challenges in our industry? And how do you go about evaluating a business? Now, when they hit you with these, listen, this is your coaching moment. This is exactly where you prove you have strategic vision. You aren't just a worker bee. You are someone who truly understands the market currents.
Why did you select our company? Did you feel that shift? The interviewer is aggressively snapping the lens down here. We're shifting focus away from the broad, open industry and placing it directly onto their specific organization.
Once they zoom in on the organization, they are definitely going to test your homework. Who is our parent company? Who are our company's competitors? What profits did our company declare last year? I really want to emphasize this. These specific, fact-based questions absolutely cannot be bluffed. You either know their declared profits or you just don't. This subset of questions requires dedicated, hard research before you ever step foot in the room. No way around it.
Now, from the hard facts, they'll usually pivot to the subjective core of the business. What's the mission, and how is it achieved? What is a company's greatest asset? What characteristics matter most in a leader? By grouping these deeper analytical questions together, we can clearly see how the interviewer is basically testing your alignment with their internal culture and values. Essentially, they're asking, do you see the world the way we see it?
Let's keep moving down to Section 3, role fit and motivation.
We're transitioning even further down the funnel now. The vast industry is out of the way, the company profile is established, and now we are narrowing right in on the specific position on the table and your personal internal drive. Why this job? Why this target role? Why our organization? Grouping these together reveals a pretty distinct pattern. The interviewer is desperately trying to figure out if you actually want this exact job, or if you just want, any job. They're hunting for genuine passion versus someone who's just mass mailing resumes.
What do you think this job requires? This one is a massive hurdle in the interview process. Your answer right here proves whether your expectations actually match their reality. If you think the job is all high-level strategy and they know it's actually 80% data entry, well, the mismatch is exposed instantly. Notice how these next questions start connecting the dots between the organization's structure and your personal working style. Why did the company create this job? Paired with, what type of organization fits your style? They really want to know if the way you naturally operate day-to-day is going to mesh with the fundamental reason this role even exists in the first place. Okay, wow. Talk about pressure. You have 5 minutes to describe the most relevant items in your background which show you are highly qualified for this position. Giving this prompt its own moment really proves how critical it is. This is the ultimate make-or-break test. It's a super high-stakes test of your ability to summarize your targeted, transferable skills under a really strict time constraint.
And that 5-minute pitch leads directly into these execution-focused questions. What exact value do you add? what specific skills transfer over, and interestingly, how many hours a day should a person spend on the job. These execution questions evaluate your tangible output and your raw work ethic. They're the bridge connecting your past experiences directly to their future needs.
Now down to Section 4, Logistics, Travel, and Salary.
We have finally hit the very bottom of the funnel, landing squarely on the highly personal brass tacks deal breakers. First up, location. Do you have a geographical preference? Are you willing to relocate every year or two? These relocation queries are rigid, practical deal breakers. Honestly, it doesn't matter how great your 5-minute pitch was. If they need you to move every 2 years and you have roots firmly planted in your current city, it's over. These require absolute, unwavering honesty right out of the gate.
Next comes the reality of being on the move. How do you feel about travel? And are you familiar with the difficulties of routine travel? So the crucial point here is that they aren't just asking if you enjoy visiting new cities or staying in nice hotels. They're actively testing to see if you truly understand the grueling, exhausting reality of life on the road, delayed flights, and literally living out of a suitcase.
And now we arrive back at the anxiety of our opening question. Is money important to you? How much money do you need to make you happy? What salary do you want? Recall how sweat-inducing this felt at the very beginning. But framing these 3 financial questions together here at the very bottom of the funnel totally transforms them. It proves they aren't a trap to catch you being greedy. They're simply a straightforward negotiation tactic to ensure their budget aligns with your baseline needs. Make sense?
Finally, Section 5, your winning strategy.
By categorizing this overwhelming list into macro to micro buckets, you have effectively decoded the interviewer's playbook. You now understand exactly why they ask what they ask. So I want to close this explainer with one final incredibly powerful prompt pulled straight from our source text. How are you conducting your job search, and how will you make your decision? I challenge you to reflect deeply on this today. As you step confidently into your interview prep, remember that this is a two-way street. Don't just analyze what the company wants from you. Ask yourself how you are making your own decisions to ensure you land a role that truly makes you happy.